What is up, jabronis? This is Shay, reporting live from my bedroom, and today I'm going to be showing you guys the warm-up bass by Virtual Riot. And if you guys aren't familiar with the bass, this is what it sounds like. And you guys kind of get the idea that just amazing sound design, by the way. Like when I first heard this, I thought it was at least 4 sounds, at least. And then like came to find out that it's only one F0 legato note, just all the way through, just being modulated, which is amazing. So without further ado, this is my recreation.
Many types of animals are used in the various...
Awesome. I know what you're thinking. Dang, son, where'd you find this? Well, I'll tell you. This was actually included in Virtual Riot's second preset pack, and he actually included the main bass from Warm-Ups, which is totally awesome. Mad respect to that guy. So by default, it comes like this, with oscillator A turned off. I'm not sure why. Maybe he wanted you to kind of like fiddle with it to kind of get the perfect sound. He just want to give it to you right off the bat. But there's a lot of variations to this bass while it's playing, so like that could be another reason. Another thing to mention, these two wavetables are not included in the preset pack. So there's no way for me to give these to you, unfortunately, because to my knowledge, there's no way for me to like rip wavetables from presets that other people gave me, which would be a really cool feature. Because I mean, the wavetables are here, but I mean, I can't save them so I can like make my own basses out of them, which is kind of lame. But that said, I'm gonna turn everything off, and we'll walk through the process. All right. So the first thing you may notice is there's a sub, and I'm pretty sure he didn't use a separate sub. I'm pretty sure like the whole thing behind this track was just simplicity and like keeping it one patch, and that's it, with minor effects after, I'm sure. So let's listen to with just the sub. And I know that already sounds amazing. It just feels good. Like that rhythm is like, oh, yeah. So, all right. So now let's turn on oscillator B, because this is like kind of the main sound of the whole bass. He's got the unison up to 7, detunes down to 0.04, blends at 75, don't mess with phase or random, wavetable positions at 0, no, it's at 9, might as well be, level at 0, turn it up to 100. And then you're going to slap LFO 2 on. This is going to be like our master LFO. This is going to be controlling our volumes, our sub, the filter, verb wet, and EQ frequency of the low. And we'll get into that as we go on. So with just the sub, just the oscillator B, this is what we have. So like already you can kind of hear it taking shape with just that one oscillator, which is like, wow, bruh, that's pretty awesome. So as you know, it's really subby and really muddy. So he went ahead and like added a high pass filter. Excuse me. And this just really cleans up the sound, really shapes it. It takes out the low end around 100 hertz, or it's set to 100 hertz, and then the cutoff is at 14, or the value for the cutoff. Resonance is cranked up to 36, no drive, no fat. Both oscillators are being routed through the filter. Okay. So another thing to point out, a lot of stuff is being modulated in this sound. So it is kind of complicated, but at the same time, it's really basic because it's just one note. So this oscillator is being modulated, like turned on and off. So for the first part, it's turned on. For the second part, it's turned off. And the third part, it's turned on again. And then the fourth part, it's turned off. So I'm going to re-enable all my automation, and then we can kind of visually look at it as it's going. See how like it kind of switches between these two? It doesn't sound right because all the effects are off, but So that's cool. So we got all of this covered. From besides the main LFO doing all the volume automation, he has this crazy LFO, and I've never seen a shape like this before, where it's really small, cuts down, goes back to the original value, and then slowly decreases. And he's got this on both wavetables. Just kind of like giving it variety, giving it more spice, so it's not just stagnant at one wavetable position. It's kind of moving. And this is also on the filter, as well as both LFOs are on the filter, which I think is pretty interesting. And this is cranked up to about 44, same position. Okay, so this is kind of like the main part of the sound. Obviously, this is set to 1/4, and this is set to 1/4 as well. Trig, nothing too fancy. He also does have a bunch of macro knobs we'll get into. This wave table position knob moves obviously the wave table positions, and some reason he has this assigned to the macro, but nothing by default was assigned. So maybe that was just something he took out. I'm not 100% sure. He's also got the LFO rate being modulated by the macro. So at 1, it's 1/4, and then it goes to 1/8, and then 1/16. Re-enable all my automation. And then he's got a 1 for the reverb, and then he's got the widen, which is macro to the detune. So it's making it a little bit more detuned, but at 3, bump it back up. And then he's got on his hyper and dimension, the mix. So by default, these are all the way at 0. So you don't even hear these with this turned all the way down. So with the hyper dimensioned at 50 on the macro, it's about, like halfway between these two. You'll kind of hear it get a little wider. So it's kind of like taking shape. And then next thing you got is a phaser. And the mix is at 0, rates at 0. Depth at 51, frequency at 967, and he boosted the feed to about 80. Then he slapped LFO 1 on these, unidirectional going left, about negative all the way to 0, or negative 100, I'm sorry. He's got the frequency bidirectional, and it's all 100, and that's the phaser. Then he just slapped a multiband compressor. He didn't affect no gain, no threshold. I'm pretty sure he didn't affect any of this stuff. He just put a multiband on it, and it sounds awesome. It's crazy. And then he added a reverb with this also set to 0, but he has a macro, so you can fine tune it when you want to automate it easier. I'm pretty sure these are all the same settings as the default reverb. Then the EQ is kind of the salt on top. So he is boosting the frequency at 96 hertz. He's got the first LFO on it with the value of 58. The Q's boosted to 57, and it's 6.7 for the gain. Then he's got the high shelf for the high, and it's boosted by 11 dB, and then the frequency is around 2000. I'll go ahead and enable that. So this is what it sounds like, full on meat potatoes.
Many types of animals are used in the various...
So very cool stuff. Very cool. Very simple, but the sound design is just unbelievable. To make these wavetables and make them sound the way they do is the reason why this bass can be so simple, and you don't have a bunch of down pitching on the master tune on that, or you know what I mean. It's just it's pretty simple. The only thing he's really affecting are 3 things, and that's the LFO speed, obviously. So it starts out really low, 1/4, bumps to 1/8, 1/4, 1/8, and goes up 16, 1/8, and then it kind of just changes over time, just, rhythmically. Then the wavetable position is being modulated slightly between the sections. So it just kind of keeps it pushing, keeps it fresh, keeps it interesting to the ear, so you don't kind of get bored with the same pattern over and over. And then the oscillator A being turned on and off. So here it's turned on, turned off, turned on, turned off. And then that's about it. I added an OTT compressor and a saturator just to kind of make it sound fatter and bigger, kind of fit with the mix and stuff. But yeah, I really hope you guys can take something from this. I hope you guys learn that you don't need all these complicated doohickeys to get a crazy Skrillex growl. You can have one MIDI note just legatoed and just have some like crazy sawdude moves going with like these wavetable positions, and then just have like a master LFO speed, and then just macro the LFO speed. Do some cool stuff. Don't overthink sound design. Most of these sound design tutorials are like way too crazy, and then you see videos of producers like, yeah, I made this synth in like 2 minutes. It was just a basic shapes and saw wave and a sine wave. It's like, what? But yeah, so with out taking up too much of your time, I'm gonna play it out. So if you guys want to see more videos like this, like and subscribe. Drop a comment down below if you guys want to see like another video or a specific sound you guys want me to recreate. Drop it in the comments below. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Peace.
Through the eyes.